Starting broadcast. Now
Okay.
live.
Okay.
Je kunt gewoon de landscape waarschijnlijk bespreken.
Welcome here. We are now in Scheveningen, in the Muzee Scheveningen, for the French wine tasting evening. And you're here in the museum. It's in fact a museum with some traditional Dutch masters here. And we are hosted by a company called Aromavin. Aromavin is run by a Dutch guy named Ronnie Jansen. And he has this special evening tonight to introduce some wines, which will be consumed later and tested. We'll make a short tour through the museum because not everybody is around yet. Sorry. It's the museum area. The wine tasting event is in one of the other halls. It didn't start yet, so we have a few seconds to go. Here at the museum is an exposé about everything related to Scheveningen. So it's really nice location for this venue. Let's go back to the main hall and see what he has to say.
Okay, thank you all for coming. There will be some more people coming in a bit. They just join us a bit later. That's okay. We're not going to wait for them. We're going to start tasting because we do it all the time, so we should wait for that. Also, we are even live on internet for the people who do not have the link. They can watch us. So we're trying to do it a bit more interactive. It's alcohol-free broadcast tonight. So. Okay, we start with a little presentation. We start now since 5 years we're doing this. We also start questioning why are we doing this. So tonight you will see more, not only get drinks, but there's more behind it actually, I'm going to tell you. With a nice animation, Laurent will do the voiceover. Then we're going to do 10 wine tastings, so it's going to be a very busy evening. You're going to be very, very busy tired afterwards, after trying 10. So tired maybe you can't even carry your wine home anymore. That's not a problem because I'll deliver in the weekend. For each wine you will see a short presentation as well. That goes with animation. Laurent will do the voiceover while I'll start pouring as well, just to keep the speed a bit. Otherwise it's going to be 10 o'clock and you're all going to be thinking. Okay, let's start with the first part with Laurent giving some explanation.
It's the wife of Ronnie, Florence, introducing the wines.
We noticed that we are in a world driven by money and by standardization. And the standardization touches everything, what we eat, what we think, what we are supposed to think, and what we drink. Everything comes from big warehouse, and this is what we found in the Netherlands when we were looking for. And we have standardization.
Can you guys hear what she's saying? Hello,
exactly
Spotify, welcome.
So the wine is going to the shop, we're trying to find the wine, and
it's the introduction to the wine tasting evening.
And the same bottles. And they were, on our point of view, not well kept. They were standing up, they were too hot, they were in the light.
We're here in the Muzee Scheveningen, which is a museum, and for the special occasion it's a wine tasting event. Some French wines will be introduced tonight, presented by Aromavin.
And what happened? We were very disappointed. The thing is, we think, and we discussed with Moni, we think that the freedom of each of us, consumer, is in the intelligence we have and the way we can consume, meaning that we can learn, we can challenge, we can get information, we can be responsible, which avoids that you have on the screen now, big disappointment. And that belongs to us, it's our freedom. No one can tell us what we like or should like or we dislike. And therefore we ask the question, then what can we do? We can learn, we can start, we can challenge, as we did, we can study, we did, we're both graduated. And then we said, well, what do we believe? We believe in honesty, we believe in time, in respect, nature makes something for us, the human as well. So we contact producers who had the same belief than us. They were sharing the same philosophy, they still share the same philosophy. And we had a relationship with these people, we still have, we visit, we find the wine, no standard wine, all small domain. We transport the wine ourselves. You will think you are completely mad to transport the wine yourself. No, we are not, because the wine is an alive product, and the wine doesn't like the cold, doesn't like the hot. So we store it well, single cellar, as you can see. And contrary to what you have seen at the beginning of the story, it's laid down, it's in the dark, it's in the same temperature, and of course in filtration. Because we respect the wine, because we like the wine. And that leads to the creation of Aromavin, which means the aroma of the wine.
The company name, it's called Aromavin. And she just explained how the wine is bought and stored underground.
In 3 languages, because I'm French, one is Dutch, and we express in English. We sell abroad for your information, so we touch a quite wide audience. We teach as well, we publish, we are publishing for professional, and then we do something that we thank you to share our belief tonight. You can choose for yourself, because you're here and you will taste. You like, you dislike. It's not us who decides for you. You can share the knowledge. You have a lot of knowledge. You can see our site, you can read, but you can also find us on
These are the wines tonight. Champagne.
Facebook.
There is another champagne, Brut
On
Rosé.
Twitter, you can find some advices.
And some more lovely wines. We'll see them in a minute and get explanation.
And of course, you can find some events on YouTube.
On YouTube, you can also find more about Aromavin if you're interested.
After 5 years, it's broadcasted on live, meaning that our wine growers are following, and we are very happy for that.
So, be our guest on Periscope.
And they love what they do, and we share that love. So then
So you can
see. This is not a mascot, this is not a toy, this is our van. It's parked in front of the door, so it's not a joke. And
they have a T4 van, Volkswagen van, which they use to get the wine from France, to deliver it home themselves. It's part of the fun. Traveling to France regularly.
Selling authentic wine, who respect nature, the wine grower, and yourself. And we thank you very much. So just to distribute the glasses, for the people who are quite new, you have tables in front of you, you have the explanation of the wine in 3 languages. You have a little leaflet, you can take your note, you have a list of the wine, you can mark them, and you can classify them.
So the wine is explained in 3 languages. There is a little note, so you can write your notes, what you think of the wine. That's very handy, because this way you can remember what to order and why do you like it. And here's the explanation.
At the table you also have
explaining exactly what will be served tonight.
You swallow, you spit.
The Champagne Brut. Champagne Brut Rosé. Passayer. A Riesling, always nice and friendly. And the Sauvignon, 2009. Sauvignon. So let's see. Glasses are dispatched now.
Between wines, we will distribute as well a little bit of bread. Cleans your mouth, whatever, and helps. So we'll do that. So the program tonight is we begin by the classification of the wine, of course, by the taste, by the consistency. So we start by the champagne. We have 2 champagne actually. The vigneron makes 3 of them. We cannot open everything, of course. We have 77 references of wine. We understand that we cannot present everything on the slide. So if everyone has a glass, our start. So the Loire des Sous-Bois, en Bois-le-Rhone is a noir, it's a blanc de noir. In Champagne you have three, blanc de blanc, white of the white, blanc de noir, which is made with black grape, and you have the rosé. This is
First wine, 20% Chardonnay
it's a blend between 20% Chardonnay,
and 80% Pinot Noir. So it's a nice mixture.
It's in the Cotes du Rhone.
Area is now indicated.
On the picture. And you have Champagne of the north, mainly Blanc de Blanc, specialized in Chardonnay. Cotes du Rhone specialized in Pinot, Blanc de Noir, and the east, in the area of Troyes, specialized in Chardonnay. This is the vineyard of our vigneron. So it's very small. As I said, our vigneron are very small vineyard. So it's 90% Pinot Noir, 10% Chardonnay. The person is, all of them are working in respect of the nature, so this one doesn't use chemicals at all. He limits as much as he can, and it's using the very small tractor called chenillette, and the chenillette doesn't dam the floor, the soil. Then he respects the insect, the flora, the champignon, and the bacteria. He uses well this capsule of pheromone, which allows the insect to not develop. So instead of killing them with products, he attracts them, and actually he cheats on them because you have a nice happy male. The thing is, he doesn't have a female. But he did. So you don't have disease. So that's a clever way to treat the insect. Of course, in Champagne, and particularly this one, everything is done manually. Again, very small domain is owned by the producer with some help occasionally. So it's a blend. Champagne is yours. You have the right, legally speaking, to combine years. So 20%, 5% is me from 2011. My 75% is coming from 2012 harvest. Once you praise the grape, very short explanation. The way with the champagne, you have the first fermentation. This is the cellar. We have done the blending with them. Very nice experience. French oak for 50%, the rest is on vat, more modern in another place. This is vat as well. Then we move after fermentation to the blending. So how do you do the blending? Well, just with your mouth, you taste. That takes a lot of time, actually. To decipher what is the taste, where you want to go, takes a lot of time. You add what we call the liqueur de tirage. Liqueur de tirage is sugar. And then you close. And you close like a beer. You close, and then you have the fermentation. So you will see here the result of the bacteria in the bottle. They work, they ferment, and they die. You put them on the rack, you put them on the dock, and they rest. And regularly you turn to be sure that the bacteria are.
So we're here at the wine tasting event from Aromavin in Scheveningen, which is close to The Hague in Holland. And Mr. Ronnie Jans is now introducing the first champagne, pouring the wine in. And his wife is explaining how the wine is made, what the grapes are which are used, and what time it takes to this is not in West, this is in The Hague, Scheveningen, which is Netherlands, and close to the seaside. It's in a building called Muzee, which is originally a school and now converted into a museum.
So you have a nice cube which is ejected from the bottle. Then you have to.
That is the presentation explaining how the bottle is iced, opened, etc.
So what you do is
That's
that
the capsule of ice.
your sugar, and depending on the grammage you add, you have a brut, a semi-brut, a sweet. You have champagne sweet, by the way, that exists. This is brut. Brut is 9 grams. It's what you might taste tonight, and it's the most champagne, the most.
There's a champagne being poured in.
It's very difficult to find sweet, for instance.
Santé.
So the champagne is available, as you see on the screen, in big and small. So which is pleasant. You can open a bottle of a small one. So it has a light yellow color. In champagne, we verify the bottle. It's very important as well. They should be not too big, not too small, because if they're big, they're aggressive in your mouth. Here, they are not aggressive at all, and they have a pleasant flavour. It's very, very elegant champagne. It's very citrus. It's very fresh. You're also in the flowers. It's absolutely not aggressive in the mouth. And we recommend an aperitif. Champagne can be very well drink an aperitif. But also with the whole meal, which is the advantage of the brut, because not being too sweet, you can combine them very easily with a lot of things, from the beginning of the meal until the end. And as you see, it is very easy to drink. This champagne on Cotes du Rhone was a very beautiful name in Cotes du Rhone.
You're here at Aromavin. It's a wine tasting event. The first wine, champagne, was just poured in and tested now by the audience. It's a very, very nice, fresh citron taste of champagne. Explanation is now by Johan. People can mark the wines. There's a little note. So you can write down your comments of what you like about the wine. This is what is served tonight. And this was the first wine. I'll get the bottle from here. Roussillion. It's really nice champagne. It's fresh. It's very mild and very nice. Here's the whole process explained of how the wine finally ends up into the bottle and reaches the client and all the stages in between. We're here at the moment in the museum. It's called Muzee Scheveningen, which I can show you now here. It's in fact a museum in Scheveningen, where the event is hosted, as you can see. There's also an aquarium here, and it's close to the North Sea, so this is the aquarium section. It shows the lovely fish ponds everywhere. So in this lovely Scheveningen setting, former school converted into a museum, is now a wine tasting event where the first wine was tested, which was the really lovely champagne. We'll see what the next stage will be. Some Dutch masters here. This is drawn by Philip Sade, most probably around 1900. And of course this is a typical Scheveningen sea view with sandy coastal lines where the flat-bottomed ships were poured up to the sand. This scenery is really Scheveningen, or The Hague Scheveningen as it is now. As you can see there, little church of Scheveningen. Some more fishermen ships. It's being tucked into the harbor, and it's around 1950. This little small steamship tugging in a sailing vessel, and that all in the setting of a wine tasting event. It's a nice location. So that was the first champagne. Let's see what the next drink will be. Another Dutch master. this time by Munte, which was a painter, late 1900. And again, the ships on the beach. Seagull over there. Fisherman. Fisherman's wife in this case, with a typical Scheveningen cap. Really authentic location. Old Church of Scheveningen with a fisherman's house. So let's see what the next wine will be. Okay, I think it's time for the next introduction.
Okay, we continue with the second champagne because we have a lot to work tonight. And the second champagne is a very beautiful name.
Again.
It's a Muzee Scheveningen. It's Framboisine. Only the name. You want to. So it's also Cotes du Rhone, la framboisine, comes from Bouges, obviously. And it has a beautiful label, which is pinkish as well. So it's the same, but of course here grapes are different and technology is different as well. So here it's not a blend, it's 100% Pinot Noir.
This is the next champagne. Oh, again Ambroise Laurent. This time it's a pink champagne. So slightly different grapes, but same brand.
So it's the same beautiful vineyard, and it's really this one. It's a picture which one has made. So it's herb.
Explained how the grapes
on purpose for the bacteria and the insects.
Completely natural make.
On purpose, as I said, when I saw
As you see there in the center of the picture, these really small lanes between the grapes are just very small, and that is to prevent big collectors and fans driving over it. So therefore they are kept very small. But well, better for the beautiful vineyard. That's the good sound we want.
Happy little insect.
Beautiful color.
Okay, so we have
pinkish color. Pinkish champagne.
Is compulsory by law, so there is some change for the champagne and unfortunately for
And now the other guys can taste the next champagne, Ambroise Laurent in pink.
As well, you can have that. So it goes to the press. This is a beautiful press, by the way, but you have understood that it doesn't go to that press, but it's for the decoration. It's in the vineyard, by the way. So you have the first fermentation. And this is beautiful. So that stays a little bit. You can reach the over because we want to gain the color.
Again, the explanation how the wine is made.
So that's the difference, is the time spent and the moon is macerating. Then it's the same. You have just the color change, but you add also the much, so the sugar again. And then you do that in April 2012. So you are just in 2011. You add the much in 2012. The bottle is exactly the same. You go through the yard like beer. Exactly the same. And you let it work. So the bacteria are working, they are making their work in fermentation, and they slowly die. So you move the wine gently, the head in the bottom, and to the top of the bottle, and they will create a kind of little block. And you do that during the same time. It's exactly the same principle. 8 weeks, 3 times per day, you turn. So you have to be patient, but what we are selling here is not mass production, as you have seen with the presentation. So that takes time. Then you open, so you froze, as I said, minus 25 degrees. So you explode a little glass cube. It's a glass cube of dead bacteria, actually, in during January 2013, you do what we call the dégorgement. And after the dégorgement, you add your liqueur d'expédition, again the sugar, and then you create your wine, meaning brut, semi-brut, doux. This is 9 grams as well. It's exactly the same sugar quantity than the one you have drunk now. So it's a brut as well. And then you have your champagne, you put your cap to keep the pressure. And then you have it in front of you and you will have it in your glass. So, how is it? Because we want to know what we drink. So no, we don't know yet.
This being a vintage.
No.
Question from the audience whether this is a vintage champagne.
Yes.
There is a year on it.
One is, and we have one actually. I don't remember the year, but I have to ask Roussillion.
The champagne, the pink champagne is from 2011.
So it's, of course, here you have more, it's 100% Pinot Noir, meaning that you are on the red fruits, obviously. The Chardonnay brought the citrus that you don't have here. So you have something which is closer to
Hello
actually a
there,
red wine.
welcome. This is a wine tasting event at the moment from Aromavin in Muzee Scheveningen, which is close to The Hague. And it's the pink champagne which is now tasted.
So because it's a brut again,
It's
very
a
easy to serve from the start.
It's a brut champagne, but this time it's a pinkish one.
This time it's a rosé. And sometimes people thinking rosé more for aperitif. That's true actually.
Okay, that's what we like, the good taste.
White.
You see the label here?
It's exactly the contrary.
Ambroise Laurent, the rosé one. Very nice. And there's also a presentation running, and in the presentation the wines are introduced. And now of course it's to everybody else to taste the wines.
The nose is already on the red fruits.
First one is 7.5, this one is 6. Well, you can join, of course, but it's in Scheveningen, which is close to the North Sea, and that is quite a trip. I don't know where you come from. We are now in the Muzee Scheveningen, which is a nice venue. It's a museum, and in this museum there is a wine tasting event going on. Breda, well, that's possible. Oh, once, okay, you're not living there yet. Okay, and we are now tasting the second wine, which is a pink champagne, and it's from Ambroise Laurent. And this is the champagne we are tasting now. It is lots of bubbles, very light, easy to drink, and a lovely rosé color. This is Ronnie Jansen. He's the entrepreneur who is hosting the evening.
Yes.
And
Also the creator of all the animations.
he also made it proudly.
Can be found on YouTube as well.
Okay,
Look them up on YouTube on Aromavin channel.
okay, he says he just opened a YouTube channel from Aromavin. That's the name. I'll get it into the picture. Aromavin. So the two bottles should be a V. Aromavin. Here it is. And he has a YouTube channel where he also explains all these wines and all the effort he took into explaining how they're made, where they're imported from. It's a couple who runs this show. They both have their van, and with that little van they go to France regularly. They taste the wines, they go to small vineyards, they make sure it's all natural products and high quality. So it's person to end. Yeah, I do participate, but I try to stay a bit sober because it might be that I will talk a lot of gibberish. So somewhere here's my glass. I would say cheers. I'll have a sip now. That's the proof, gone. So the wife of Ronnie here is explaining the wine to the guests, which is Ronnie. Can you describe the wine for the guests, please?
It's almost red wine. It's made from Pinot Noir grape. It's a red grape, and the red grape is being pressed. After pressed, we put the juice with the grape skins for a while, so it retracts the color. Because normally, if you press the grapes, it becomes white. Then it gets color a bit. The vigneron looks at the color. If it gets the right color, then he takes the wine out, which goes into the steel vessels. We also saw that on the presentation. You can look that later up on YouTube as well. In the vessel, it goes for a fermentation. After fermenting this one, I think for about 6 months, it was in a vessel. Then it's being taken out of the vessel, and it's going to be put in a bottle.
And how would you describe the taste?
Oh, the taste! It's a bit of the red fruits it does have.
Okay.
So it's quite dry with the red fruit with a kind of almost like strawberry.
Okay, thank you. Well, I hope this serves your question. It was the... Dank u wel. Well, at your service, thank you. That's perfect Dutch. So, there is a little note on each table. And on the note, people can classify the wines according to what they think they are. So here are all the wines, and the feedback is used to, as a client feedback for the next purchases and the next wine. Yeah, well, I've tasted the first two. The light champagne, the first champagne was very, very fruity and fresh, and a bit of a citrus taste to it. I loved it. And the second one was a bit more sweet, which is not really my taste, I must say. But quality-wise, very good. But I like the first one a lot more. I'm not. I mean, the pinkish champagne looks great, but I would say the taste is the first one was amazing. But that's personal. I mean, I hear other responses here as well.
With Ronnie, so we will continue with the white, and of course we'll finish by the red. You have seen on the invitation is an invitation to travel north to south.
Okay, she's now explaining that this wine tour goes from the north of France to the south.
By the white from the north.
So we started with the white wines from the north.
This one which is coming, I should admit I like it very much.
So the next one she's introducing, the third one.
Because I like, as you have understood, very unknown thing, rare thing, authentic thing. And this one is one because I'm sure you have never heard about this grape, which is Tressalier. And the Tressalier is a beauty from the
so the third wine, which is now introduced, is a quite unique wine.
It's classified as such, and actually it's at the origin of the river the Loire.
Yes, I'm in The Hague. It's in fact not The Hague, it's Scheveningen, which is the sea resort close to The Hague, in the Muzee. We will broadcast till the last bottle is tried out, or when our batteries run out. I hope they will still live. So we have the third wine now. And this is the third one.
So it's Julien Armel. Julien the third generation, so that's a grandfather.
The reason why we're in the Netherlands, well, I live in the Netherlands. This wine tasting event is here. And the couple which is now in his wife is introducing, and this is a sommelier who's well, the reason I talk English is because we have an English presentation here. We have a lot of international guests. So, bye-bye, thank you, Anja. We have a lot of international guests, so therefore the presentation is in English. And it would not make sense to talk Dutch if more than half of the visitors are non-Dutch.
Nice name. So that's the vat. So the vat is not oak, it's not still, it's a cement. It's another way to age the wine in cement. It's a very good way, by the way. It's quite old, but a lot of vignerons are working with this. So they work
Nou, dat zou best wel kunnen. Ik spreek goed Nederlands. Dus dat gaat niet helemaal op wat je nu zegt. Oké, that's just to prove that I'm Dutch. In case you had any thoughts about this. So we have the third wine now. Let's see the color. Okay.
Of not Vichy, but a little place which is closer to their vineyard, which is I invite you to visit because it's absolutely gorgeous. It's called Les Lys, Les Bains. it's a small village, and the bath developed in the 19th century. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's created on Roman terms. So that's a very, very old tradition of thermal water and treatment. If you now see some, so it's yellow, obviously it's white, but it's gold, yellow, and it's extremely fresh. And the nose is a beautiful nose. So it's grapefruit. And what I like and what is very special, it's
Introducing the current wine now, the third taste of tonight. Yellow gold color it says, which is true.
With the salty water, you find it in the wine.
And
if you pay attention, it's a little bit mineral and salty. So you can drink it with, of course, a lot of things. It's a very... It's not an heavy one, it's the freshness make you combine with vegetables, light meat, fish, and aperitif. So it's really, it has quite a wide range of usage. It's from 2014. And this is a beautiful thing. You find Tressalier only in that area. You will never find Tressalier, the grapes, in another place. It's really the place where it's grown, and it's really the place where it develops.
Okay, thank you.
The fishy water, but nice.
Again, we're here in the Muzee Scheveningen, which is in fact a museum with a lot of sceneries from Dutch painters related to fishery, Scheveningen and the seaside, as shown before. Here's the sandy beach of Scheveningen as it was in the 1870 approximately, with a little church of Scheveningen and the fishermen and the little fishermen's boats. And in this setting of a museum, which used to be a school, is now a wine tasting event. We're now tasting the second wine, the third wine I must say, which is a lovely white. We just started with two champagnes, both brut. The one was a normal champagne, the other one was a pinkish. And let's see what the next one will be. The host of the night is Ron Jansen, as you've seen on the movie before. He is running the company called Aromavin.nl, and the event tonight is in Scheveningen, close to The Hague. We have 5 wines. The 5 wines are tested, of course, one after the other, and people can give their replies, commands on it. And of course they can be ordered afterwards. This is the first event which is also on Periscope, so it's a bit of an experiment for us as well. We think Periscope is a great way to show what you're doing, what your business is all about, and to capture an event. It's the television of today. And this live broadcast will last till the batteries are dead, which is also something new. There is a presentation. Presentation is also on the internet, so each wine is explained, how it's made, where it's from what area. We started in the north of France, And we're now close to the mid of France, as explained. And the vineyard is explained. This, the type of wine. This one is from 2013, and beautiful color. Well, of course I cannot show the color that bright as explained here, but you will see it in the glass. I'll show you in a second. It's a real gold color. Gives you an idea. It's not sweet at all, it's a very good taste. It's a lovely wine. The scores are written down. Let's see what scores are written. First champagne, 3 points. Second one, the pink champagne, 2 points. 2.7, oh, okay. The third one, 3.3, which is the lovely wine with the golden color. Let's see what the fourth one will be. In the meantime, I'll show you some footage of the old school, typical Dutch old school, now turned into a museum, explaining everything about Scheveningen. No, I don't get shaky, it was just one sip of wine. I try to stay sober. Dutch sailing vessels. Of course it's a museum, but a nice venue. As you can see with these ships, they all are flat underneath. That is because the North Sea here is only 4 or 5 meters deep. So you cannot use a huge keel. There's a small cafe here as well. Some more exhibitions. I go back to the venue. I'll switch off the microphone so we'll take the live sound picked up.
We go to Alsace. We go to Alsace. And we taste a Riesling. We stay in the white. So this is also a nice domain, family. It's the third generation as well. 100% Riesling. The name is Mauler in Alsace. It's Mauler. So we go to the family Mauler now. Mauler, pardon. To pronounce it well.
Now introducing the fourth wine, Maulach. And the vineyard is now explained. These vineyards are all visited by the two entrepreneurs. They talk to the owners, see the product, see how it's made. And this Riesling is about 15 years old. And it's the Alsace area, which is close to the German area.
So we go to the way. It's gone. So that's the house. You know that Alsace is beautiful architecture.
There's an Alsace house at the back with its typical architecture.
Flowers. So the house is full of flowers. It's Jean-Paul Jean-Paul is the father. Now it's.
This Riesling is from 2012, and the owner of the vineyard is Jean-Paul Molière.
It's very pale, of course. It's a Riesling, so we don't have the color of the wine from the south, obviously. But it's the reason why you have here the green crystal. So that doesn't mean that it is young. That means it's a Riesling. That's different. And because green is not a good quality for a wine most of the time. But here it's a beautiful quality of the wine. It's the way it's done because it's a Riesling. So it's apple and lime. Super fresh.
So it's a typical golden brilliant color with green crystal clear tint. So green is usually not a good color for wine, but for the Riesling it's typical. And the advice to eat it with oysters, seafood, smoked fish. Lovely. I get, I would say, ship in the oysters now, because after all these wines we're ready for it. Goat cheese. Okay, well that's not really my choice. So Jean-Paul Molière is the owner of the vineyard, and we're gonna see the Riesling now. I'm very curious whether it will be sweet or just fresh. We'll see that in a minute.
So
What is this? This is a wine tasting event from Aromavin. Aromavin is an importer of wine. And tonight we're going to introduce a few champagnes, a few white wines, a red one. And then with the white ones there's also Riesling. This is the company, Aromavin. You can also find them on the internet. We're now in Scheveningen, Scheveningen close to The Hague, in a place called Muzee, which is a museum. This is the fourth wine, which is now the Riesling, Champol Moyer. Very curious how the taste will be. This is the two entrepreneurs who are introducing the wines. They know all the vineyards, they've been there, they collect the wines themselves, taste them, select them, and very professional people. Yeah, no, it's not really for free. It's geen gratis drankje. It's it's an event where you contribute with a small contribution. Well done, thank you. Bye bye. And so, fourth wine now on. Let's give it a taste.
So I didn't mention the way to taste. It's a champagne because of the gold. But here you turn. So it's not to make beautiful wine kitchens. Look at that, because normally for really flowers, make it warmer.
Do you have the fourth one now?
A bit. It's to bring a little bit of water
Is it the same?
in the glass and turn the side the aromas of the wine. And you put it in the mouth a little bit, and then you put some air in between your tongue or your teeth, where you want. So that gives not a very beautiful sound, but all the tasters are doing this. You are authorized. And then you bring
So she now explains how the wine should be tasted. These events are once every 3-4 months, and now as the festive season is starting in December, there's of course 2 champagnes introduced and some Riesling and some red wines. And now the bouquet comes from the wine by circulating it in the glass.
This is a stronger white wine than the Roussillion. It's actually has nothing to do together. You cannot compare them. And the usage is very different as well. This is more on seafood.
My role. I'm a friend of the family, and I was asked to cover this periscope with Periscope as a first experiment. They started the business a few years ago, which is now growing and matured. And tonight at this event, not everybody can attend because some people are abroad. There's a lot of expats here as well. So the idea was, if we cover this by Periscope, there is a chance to look back at the coverage later, and also other people can attend. So we have people coming and leaving to watch the show, which is okay because it's the first attempt, and for a small entrepreneur it's a nice way to introduce the business and to show what they're doing. So people get the chance to taste. There's of course the bread in between, the French bread.
To neutralize the taste a bit in your mouth?
To neutralize the taste in your mouth after all the wines we've tasted up to now. We already finished four glasses. They're all marked. Let's give it a try. This was the Riesling, the fourth wine. Yellowish greenish color. They're lovely.
We're going to the next one, which is going to be an interesting one.
Okay, I'll follow the entrepreneur now. Okay.
The next one is going to be a very special one. You
Well,
will
now
see
you
that.
have another type of experience.
The next one is going to be a nice experience. It's going to be a very special wine on a white one, which is a special treatment. How it's made is a bit like sherry-like. That's also explained by Laurence, and later on you can see it on YouTube. You can see the explanation as well again.
Can I even?
Well, here's the preparation done.
It's the preparation room.
Laurence will explain how this one is made. We're not going to taste this one. This one you can keep for 50 years.
This wine can be saved and kept for 50 years. That's incredible. 50 years. That's a lifetime.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting production process, how they make it. It's like a bit like the sherry-like. We're going to taste tonight a bit the more simple one.
Okay, that's the simple brother of the wine I just showed you.
Can
This
be
one
kept 25 years.
can be 25 years. You can keep this wine.
Yes, and
It's almost a shame to drink it now, but
yeah.
2009.
It goes very well with curry kind of food, like curcuma, curries, etc. All those kind
Okay.
of things, and a Comté cheese.
Okay, we're gonna have to taste this one. It sounds smashing. 25 years. Okay, well I don't think they will last 25 years in my cellar. But
No way, not in ours either.
so now going to the guests to introduce the next wine.
So this is the Jura area. So we are going slowly in the south, as you see. This is the beautiful vineyard, and the fruitière is also a name of a cooperative. So it's one of the smallest cooperatives within the country. It's really tiny.
So this vineyard is quite
And,
small.
it's 35 years old. It's called
The vineyard exists for 35 years,
environmental friendly as well.
and it's completely environmental friendly run. So we're now heading towards the south. It's a Jura area. Let's see the wine
Yeah,
being
the
opened
other
now.
name is Franche-Comté. For the French, that means something. For the Spaniards, less. And this is a beautiful cow from, and it is a Loire
Let's smell the
cow,
cork to see.
because la vache qui rit is coming from Franche-Comté.
It's okay. It's a good wine.
It comes from there. And another thing is, you know, I'm pretty sure you know all of them, Louis Pasteur, the chemist, he invented the pasteurization. And Louis Pasteur worked in Arbois. Arbois is the capital of the place. And
It's the place where Louis Pasteur lived,
I will explain a little
in the
bit
south
more
of
with
France.
red, because to discover pasteurization, it works with red. I will explain. You have another type of wine which is known as
You see the color now, really goldish.
Ronnie, maybe you can show the bottle of the vin jaune. Voilà. This is the vin jaune. This is unique.
Vin jaune, it's called.
Taste it tonight, because it's
This was the bottle which will live for
50
15 years.
It needs to open for 4 hours before you can drink it.
Okay, you have to open it 4 hours before you drink
But
this wine.
also you can keep it in your cellar or at home for 50
And again, you
years.
can keep this for 50 years. Incredible wine. It's not going to be open tonight. You're going to drink the younger brother, which can last for 25 years. There it's explained how it's possible to keep this wine for such long. Usually air is removed, in this wine it isn't.
So you refill. Here you don't refill, you provoke it, and you create a layer of bacteria.
So the idea is not to remove the air, but to create a layer of bacteria, which is part, it will protect the oxidization of the wine,
A long time.
but that layer will stay there a long time to capture the wine. It's a really, really special way of,
The nuts, taste that you will taste.
it's a nutty taste.
Walnut, nut, curry, that's typically from this area. So it's bottled in, it's a beautiful bottle called the Plavela. It's 62 centiliters. It's not by coincidence, as I said. It's not because it's a smaller bottle than another one.
It's 62 centiliters, which is quite odd.
A liter of wine after 6 years and 3 months.
But that is because what you're left after the 6 years.
6 years and 3 months.
Yeah, well, join next time. Aromavin will introduce it, and there is so much more to see around here. It's not only the wine tasting event, but Scheveningen and The Hague is a lovely place to stay and to a lot to see.
It's the same. So what you would taste is
On another periscope, I'm going to do a walk tour through The Hague to explain something about the area here.
So it's the reason why it's less expensive, because it's less long. By the way, not everyone can do that, because you need to have know-how to manipulate such a wine. delicate. So it's very yellow, very,
It's a
very
very
yellow.
yellowish
The other
wine.
one, they were green. You remember what I said for the green? Here is
It's a
pure
walnut
yellow.
taste.
And it have spices, nuts, walnut. So everything which is exotic, everything which is very spicy goes very well with this wine. So, Muzee.
Okay, everybody's invited to start
And it's from
the taste
2009.
now.
It's
2009 wine,
It tastes
and it will age even more. Although you can perfectly drink it now, it will even age more because it's only from 2009, and there's another 25 years to go on this wine. Here's my glass parked. So give it a taste.
In 50 years.
Far more yellowish than the Riesling we just had. Beautiful color, golden color. And well, I'll give it a try now. Very, very special taste. It's a very rich taste. I taste the walnut, really walnutish taste. Very unusual for wine, I must say. I love it. The guests are a mix of experts, people who, yeah, indeed, really know about good wines and are appreciate a bit of explanation and a tour through France. The wife of Ronnie, the woman in the lovely pinkish outfit, is from France. She knows exactly the areas. She's visited all the places. But it's a mix of people, so these people are either know about wines or just starting. It's a one-to-one mix. This is the 4th or 5th wine tasting event. Aromavin is running, and it's getting more professional each time. And there is so much love in running this company because it's a small company. It's a two-man job, and it's the love of the product and the love of the vineyards, and I really appreciate that. This is not about big money and big business. This is about the love of a good product, which is brought to Holland by this lovely couple. These are the wines, and there's the Vin Jaune, the amazing one. Yes, well, I did not fill it because I'm walking around now. My wife, who is also tasting the wine, put down the numbers, and let's see what number this one gets. What did you give for the 4th one, love? For this one? Sorry? 3.3? Okay, but why 3.3?
Less than the previous two. So for me, it doesn't know whether it's
Because of the walnut stage, you like it less than the previous two?
no, it's a little bit in between. Complicated.
It's a complicated wine. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. It's not an easy wine. Okay. So I didn't write down all the numbers myself, but I do agree on that. This walnutish taste is quite complex. It's good that he didn't start with this wine because it really defines anything after that.
Yeah.
This is the next one?
No, this is the one we're tasting now still.
Oh, but that's the family of the Vin Jaune.
Family of this one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And the next one we're going to is going to an Alsace again.
Okay. So there's the Jura mark on the bottle.
Here.
Okay.
Keeps 25 to 30 years as well.
Oh, yeah, 25, 30 years it will last. It's a beautiful wine, but I must say complex. And particular. I mean, maybe good with pâté or with a stronger tasting meat. Spicy meat, yeah.
And of course, Jura Comté cheese.
Huh? Sorry?
The Comté cheese.
Yes.
Jura.
Cheese of the Jura would be a good match. I do agree. So mixing with the guests, just to hear their feedback, because this one is really complex wine, and it's interesting to see how people appreciate it. I think this will be a love or hate affair for this one. Either you get it and it matches your taste, or it's too much, and you go for the Riesling or the more easier wines. Thank you. It's a first attempt. I'm not very used to make any coverages. It's a first attempt to use Periscope. We're now in a museum, which is you would wonder what that chair is. Well, that's the chairs which are usually on the beach 50 years ago. And in this rather strange setting, unique setting, a museum in a former school, we're now having a wine tasting event. Go back to the explanation now.
And that was absolutely delicious because what you taste now, which might appear a bit strong.
Again, she's explaining that the wine you're tasting now is a bit strong, and that was the one with the walnuts.
So it's a very interesting wine actually because it changed a lot.
But it's an interesting wine because it's a typical wine which you join with food, and I would say some stronger meat.
Yeah, and we go back to Alsace.
Now we go to the next one, which is a Grand Cru. It's a classified wine. First, the vineyard is explained.
But this one is a little bit special because it's a Grand Cru. There is 52 cru in Alsace which exist.
There's about 52 crus in Alsace. No, she doesn't hear this at all. The sound of the microphone and me talking is far less intrusive than her talk. She has a microphone and a speaker, so it's okay.
So it's made from only these grapes, it's by law. You have few grapes who have
Here's the explanation of the sixth wine.
So the Riesling, the Gewürztraminer, the Riesling, and the other one.
And curious to see where we are now. Okay.
Again, it's in Alsace, as I said, same as well by law.
Alsace wine. Here we have the wine.
So the vineyard is very beautiful.
And it's a Grand Cru. It's a classified wine. 2012. That's quite young.
Yes, it keeps for years as well. It keeps 10 years.
Okay, this wine will last for 10 years. So curious how the taste will be, which we will see in a second. This vineyard is about 35 years old. And manually harvested. Interesting. Okay, you cannot get the annotation being a Grand Cru if it is not hand-picked. So therefore this wine is manually harvested. So there's a lot of ruling to get your Grand Cru classification on the bottle. Alsace. So it's a small vineyard, as she's explaining. It's on a little hill. Mandelberg. Well, we'll look that up in Google. Interesting to see. Lovely houses with a wood and cement, typical Alsace buildings.
So as I said, it's a very old wine produce area, and it's 100% of course. This is the third generation.
Okay, it's the fourth generation entrepreneur who's making this wine. Domaine Jean-Paul Mollard. Okay, we'll see now. Grand Cru. Well, you don't have to watch this if you think it's boring, but it's okay. A lot of people enjoying, so we'll see.
This thing is very pale. This one is a little bit colored. It's still Alsace, still cold, it's still cold, so it's still.
Give it a try. Thank you for the compliment.
It's very, very young. So it's not citrus at all. It's stronger than the other one.
Oh, this is a very sweet wine. Yeah, it's really sweet, this one. Interesting wine. Perfume taste, quite sweet.
And you serve it at a temperature of 8, 10.
It's served at 8 to 10 degrees, which is okay. I would personally drink it a bit colder because it's quite sweet. So interesting to see how the rating is for this wine. The last one. Why? So what's your conclusion on this one?
It's a very good one.
Good one?
Just concluded that it will go very nice together with dried fruits,
Okay.
grapes and the cheese plate.
Cheese plate and grapes. Okay. Is it not too sweet for you?
No.
Okay, not too
It,
sweet.
it feels in the beginning too sweet because the aftertaste of the previous wine.
Okay.
In the end, it's pretty nice.
Okay. Well, according to my wife, it's not too sweet. I think it is a bit sweet, but that it's all personal, as you see. That's how things are. Advises seafood. I do agree.
If you go from one to another, you will think this is sweet. Be careful, it's not a sweet wine at all. It's still classified as a dry wine. But of course, it's sweeter. It's the reason why I went with foie gras, tandoori, curry.
Okay, technically it's not a sweet wine. It's still a dry wine. Well, I argue that, but it could be.
But it's a dry wine.
It's a lot of taste, a lot of perfume, quite a perfume taste, I must say. It's complex. So how come there are some people who think this wine is sweet and others disagree?
Compared to other wines are much more drier. So especially now you drink the other wines, you drink this one, there's quite a difference. So you right away think it's sweet. If you really would take a sweet wine next to it, then this one would taste very dry again.
Okay, so it's because of
relative.
It's because of what we've been drinking before this one.
As well, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But if you would taste a dew wine, a sweet wine afterwards, then this one would be really dry again.
Okay, thank you. Well, that concludes our periscope coverage. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it a bit. And well, see you at the next coverage of Aromavin wine tasting. You're welcome. Thank you very much.